Hi everybody, I'm Christina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, Anastasia. So, I have been mentioning in several videos that I was gonna make this review, and it's finally here. I know it took me a while, but you will get a lot. Yesterday, I was writing down all my thoughts, and I decided I'm gonna make 4 Anastasia videos. The first one, the one that you're watching right now, is gonna be a spoiler-free review, but you know that based on the title. Anyway, this is gonna be a spoiler-free review. It's gonna be a safe space for everyone who hasn't seen the musical, but of course it's gonna include some spoilers from the movie because it has to. Then I'm gonna have a spoilery review. I'm gonna rank the musical numbers, and finally I'm gonna make a video that is gonna be what I got versus what I wanted. I also have a vlog of the entire day, and you can check it out right here or down below if you haven't seen it already. But without further ado, let's start. I have been watching several reviews by Grace over at Beyond the Trailer, and I love how she makes her reviews. She has all these different chapters and she talks about different things and she puts the chapters down below. So I have decided I'm going to do the same thing in this video because I have a lot of things I want to talk about. This is not the movie at all. I haven't watched the movie in a couple of years. And I decided not to watch it before the musical because I wanted to keep the movie and the musical separate. Even though I know the movie like the back of my hand, but still, like, it's different if you have it fresh in your memory and then you go see the show. So I didn't watch it, and it was a great decision because this musical has nothing to do with the movie at all. The characters are different, the relationships of the characters are different, the order of the songs are different. Forget about the bantering between Dimitri and Anastasia. That's gone. Some characters are gone. One of my favorite songs, In the Dark of the Night, is gone. The humor is different. Everything is different in this musical. Some things I liked, some things I didn't like. Visually, most of the times, it looks stunning. Stunning. I mean, the costumes were gorgeous. We got the blue dress. We got it, and it's everything that I ever wanted. It was so beautiful. And the red dress at the end, gorgeous. Gorgeous. I didn't care it wasn't the yellow dress. This red dress was a piece of art. So the costumes were great. Most of the set design was beautiful. But the screens, they were overused in my opinion. It made the show look cartoonish, and the irony is that they wanted the show to be more historically accurate and more real, and the screens, that thing didn't make it look real at all. In fact, it looked like a cartoon movie. When they were on the train, they made me dizzy. Can you believe that? I was just like, I had to close my eyes and just focus on the music because I wanted to throw up. But there were other scenes where they were used perfectly. Like, for example, the prologue. Oh my god, when I was sitting there and the prologue started and then the Bolsheviks invaded the palace, it looked amazing. In that particular moment, I was like, okay, I'm seeing this show again. I'm not gonna see any other show. I'm gonna spend all my money on Anastasia. I'm gonna see the show as many times as I can. Only because of that scene, because it looked that good. But yeah, the screens were basically distracting, and I got tired of them. I was checking my first Anastasia video, and I realized that I mentioned that I was okay with them changing stuff if they made the movie justice and if they kept the essence of the movie. In the end, the story is the same. It's about this girl that doesn't remember who she is and she's looking for her family. That part they kept, then they changed everything else. And my main problem with this story, and it has nothing to do with the movie, was that I didn't feel there was a climax. I didn't feel there was a real villain. I didn't feel this, like, I felt it was just a story that was like a sequence of events that were happening, and that's it. There were no stakes. I never felt any threat. I never felt that she wasn't gonna meet her grandma. I mean, it was like, of course she's gonna meet the grandma. Of course she's gonna end up with the guy. Of course, like, you knew what was gonna happen. I didn't feel there was a real conflict, and that's my main problem with this show. I'm gonna try to look it up, but have you seen that SpongeBob in a roller coaster meme? That's what this show felt like. It was like, whoop, and that's it. I think what makes people like this musical and what made me like it was the nostalgia, the songs. I mean, I've been waiting so long to see these songs live on stage with a cast so talented that it was impossible for me not to like the musical, even though I had my problems with it. But I do feel that they had 20 years to think about this show. There were some things that they could have changed for the better. Like, for example, the conflict. But at the end of the day, it's a fun show. It's very entertaining. It's very family oriented. If you're going with your family, excellent. It feels like a Disney movie, even though Anastasia is not a Disney movie. For all of you who don't know, just saying. And I love the new songs. They were great. Some of the times I prefer them over the original songs from the movie. I know, blasphemy. Shocking. I would definitely recommend seeing this musical, but if you can, keep the movie and the musical separate. If you can't and you want to see the movie, just watch the movie because it's not the same at all. I'm happy with the show. I would definitely see it again, and I would definitely recommend it. Also, one more thing before I get into characters. I feel that the musical, even though it was supposed to be about Anya, it was more about the trio. It was about Vlad and Dimitri and Anya, and I feel that they share the same amount of time on stage, and I really like that. But that changed the relationships of the characters, especially Anya's and Dimitri's relationship, because it's not a love-hate relationship. I mean, I never felt, and this is one of the things that really disappointed me, was that I never felt the romantic connection or attraction between Dimitri and Anya. I always felt that they were friends, like very good friends, and they had chemistry, but not the romantic type. But their relationship wasn't the focus of the story.
I may have gotten fatter.
I have like all these notes. So let's start with the main character, Anya. She is completely different than the movie. Absolutely different. I mean, she reminded me of a mix of Ariel and Rapunzel and Belle. But she never reminded me of movie Anya. She felt like a Disney princess from the very beginning. She never felt like a street rat. She never felt like a tomboy. I never felt she had a rough life. Even though she mentions it a couple of times, I never felt it. She was just so delicate and precious and so happy. She wasn't sarcastic. She wasn't tough. I mean, there was this scene. I have some examples that I'm gonna get into in my spoilery review, but let's just say that there is a scene that I think, personally, is there in the musical only to show us that she is strong and she's tough, but it didn't came through. At least not for me. There's this thing that I don't really know, but there's this thing that I felt through the whole story, and I didn't really know if she knew that she was Anastasia or not, because at some points I felt she knew, and in others I felt that she was completely oblivious to the situation and she didn't remember anything. So it was very confusing for me, especially since I know the whole story. At some points I was just like, maybe she does know, and she is a con woman too. I want to say that I liked her, but this has more to do with the fact that I love Christy Altomare. She's the nicest person ever. She's so genuine. She's so sweet. And all of that, all of Christy, you could see it in this Anya because she was sweet and she was happy. You could see Christy's mark on Anya, definitely. That's why I say that she reminded me of Rapunzel. And it was really hard for me to keep both Anyas separate because the sarcastic tomboy Anya is my favorite. It's one of my favorite. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. And I loved that she was completely different to all the other Disney all the other Disney princesses. And now she is, in my opinion, another Disney princess. So she lost that essence from the movie, but if you keep them separate, you get to like her. You like this new Anastasia. You like this new Anya. It's just that you have to keep all your memories there. It's just like, no, this is this is a parallel universe, and this is a different Anya. In this universe, Anya is like Rapunzel. But anyway, I liked her. I mean, you can't not like Anastasia if Christy is playing her, because she's the best. But I do have to admit that at some points I felt that Anya was a little bit whiny. And I was just like, my girl wouldn't do that. And for example, one of those moments was in Learn to Do It. I really liked that musical number. But there was a moment in the musical, in that song in particular, that I was just like, Anya, just chill. But one of the good things about this Anya is that she sounds so much like Liz Calloway that if you close your eyes, you feel like it's the movie. It's just like, ah, this is so pretty. Because, oh my god, Christy Altomere's voice is gorgeous. It's just so flawless, and it's just like, you can just close your eyes and listen to her for hours and hours because her voice is so beautiful. Now, Dimitri! Where was my baby? I didn't like this Dimitri at all. This was one of my biggest disappointments, and I don't understand what was the problem. Was it Derek Klena? I don't know, because I have seen Derek Klena perform live before, and he's great, but at the same time, he was overacting, and his voice was very, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just think that he had a bad day. Maybe he was sick, and he was trying to compensate his problems with his voice with some acting, but at the end of the day, it was like overacting, and her voice was just like, he was I was in the mezzanine, and I could see his veins, and I was just like, Derek Klena doesn't sing that way. Maybe he's sick. But as I mentioned, one of the things that made Dimitri great was that he was also sarcastic, and that he had this awesome relationship with Anya. You take out the relationship, you take out the sarcasm, and you just have a guy. If you have seen my reaction to the OBC, if you haven't, you can check it out here and down below. My favorite song when I listened to the OBC was his song, My Petersburg. And I was so looking forward to this song. And I was just like, it didn't make me emotional, it was just meh. I mean, Derek Klena looked the part, and he has the voice. I want to believe that he just had a bad day, because a lot of people like him as Dimitri. So, he was probably sick. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, my two favorite characters. I know, shocking. Anya is not my favorite character. I know, baby, I love you, Anya. I love you, but these were my two favorite characters. Vlad and Lily. Oh my god, talking about good changes. Talking about things that you change for good. This Vlad is completely different than the movie. And it's so much better. I feel like Vlad was the Dimitri I wanted, but the older version. This is the older version of Dimitri. Like, everything I liked of Dimitri was in Vlad. Like, I could see it in Vlad. And that was very weird and interesting at the same time, and maybe that's why I liked Vlad so much. He was hilarious. I just like, I wanted more from him. I was so happy whenever he was on stage. He was funny, he was carefree, he was romantic, he was everything I never knew I wanted from Vlad. And he felt so natural on stage. I just loved him so much. And then Lily. Lily was my favorite character. Who could have known? I mean, Sophie in the movie was so sweet and just delicate and all of that. And here, Lily was hilarious, sarcastic, scandalous. I mean, she was everything. When she walked on stage, the stage brightened up. I mean, you could see her presence on stage. Caroline O'Connor, you are the best. So much talent in one person. I mean, oh my god, she had this star over her. It was amazing, and the character was so amazing. I wanted more. I want a whole musical only about the life of Vlad and Lily, and how they met, and how they fell in love, and everything that they tell you happened. I want to see it, because their chemistry is the best. I just feel that this Lily and Vlad were the Anya and Dimitri I wanted. And maybe that's why I love them so much. And their songs were the best. Lily just reminds me of this aunt that is always spoiling her nephews and nieces. We all have that aunt. And that goes against the rules and doesn't care what anyone thinks about her. That's Lily, and I loved her so much. What a voice. I didn't listen to her song before, so I didn't know what it was about, what it sounded like, and I was just like sitting there like, this is so perfect. This is gorgeous. I was telling them, I was just like, are you seeing? Oh my god, this is everything I wanted and more. So next character, Grandmama. I think that her song was very emotional. I didn't see it with Mary Beth Beale. I saw it with her understudy. I feel she did a great job. The reunion scene made me cry. Now, we have to talk about my least favorite character, Gleb. If you want to see my notes, here it is. Gleb. Ugh. I hated him. And not in a good way. Not in that way that you love to hate villains. No. I hated him. I just didn't care about him. He was the worst. How could you change Rasputin for Gleb? I mean, makes no sense. In my opinion, Gleb's story was ridiculous. They knew that they had to cast someone that everyone loves in order for people to like Gleb. And that didn't even work. I mean, if Ramin Karimloo had not been playing Gleb, I would have been like, ugh, Gleb, I hate you. Please just skip his song. But you love Ramin. It was uncomfortable to watch him. I mean, it's never uncomfortable to see Ramin Karimloo, but it was uncomfortable to watch Gleb. I was just like, shut up and let the story continue. I never felt Gleb was a villain. I just never felt it. He wasn't a threat. He was just pathetic. I will talk more about him in my spoilery review. I will have some examples, but that's what I think about the character. Now for the ensemble, I mean, they were all very talented, but I feel that in some songs, I wish they had more characterization for each character, especially in songs like A Rumor in St. Petersburg. So my final thoughts are, this is a very enjoyable musical. I would definitely recommend it. Don't forget to keep the movie and the musical separate. Don't watch the movie before you watch the musical. Just don't. But if you like Disney, even though Anastasia is not Disney, this musical feels like a Disney musical. And I have to give a shout out to Anastasia's marketing department because they are absolutely the best. And also there was this security lady when we were waiting on stage door, and I want to give her a shout out. We waited there for a long time for Christy Altomare to come out, and she was very funny, and we were joking with her that she knew the screams for each actor, and it was like, oh, she probably knows when, like, these types of screams are Ramin's, and these types are Dimitri's, and this are Christie's. And I loved chit-chatting with her, even though it was for a little bit. It was wonderful. Oh, one more thing that I have to mention. The orchestrations are stunning. The songs are great. I feel that the new songs could fit perfectly in the movie. In fact, I wish we had like the movie versions of these new songs because I really like them, most of them. I will talk about the musical numbers in a separate video, as I mentioned, and once it's up, I'm gonna add a card over here so you can check it out, and I'm gonna add it down below. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Anastasia the musical, my spoiler-free thoughts. I tried to keep it as spoiler-free as I could. If you have seen the show, please let me know in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't and you plan to see it, let me know in the comments. If you want to see it now that I've given you my review, let me know in the comments. Anything that you want to talk about Anastasia, the movie or the musical, just put it down below and we can talk about this amazing characters and musical and movie. I'm Christina. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye!